Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. It's definitely been longer than 2 weeks since I last put out a video. I think it's been more like 2 months at this point. Work got crazy, life got crazy. I had a couple of shows that I had to prep for and other priorities that came up, and those are just excuses. I've still been writing here and there. I've still been making beats. I still go to piano lessons weekly, and I've been practicing every day trying to get a better grasp on music theory. But for whatever reason, it feels like I'm not doing those things with the kind of intensity or focus that I really want to be doing them at. And I think I know why. And it all rolls into, if you've been watching this channel a couple of videos ago, I said that I wanted to self-produce a tape and put it out by September. I haven't even started working on that tape. And that's not to say that I'm not gonna hit my self-imposed deadline, but I have to get way more focused and start really working on this thing and putting a lot into it in order to get it done in time and for it to hopefully meet my standards. So every time I sit down to write music or make any kind of music, I just have in the back of my mind, this needs to go towards that project that's supposed to come out in September. So I just have this anxiety or this fear in the back of my mind that whatever I make is not gonna meet my expectations. And it's just kind of put me in a mental block. So as I was procrastinating, I picked up this book that I got a few Christmases ago. And if you're in any kind of creative work, I'm sure you've heard of this book. It's The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. And it just so happens at this time, I needed to hear what was inside this book. And I'm not gonna give you a full breakdown or a book review because that's just not what I do. And I'm only about halfway through the book. I don't wanna say I learned from this book, but 2 things that this book reminded me of. So to circle back, the reason why I haven't been putting out videos or working on this tape that I'm supposed to be releasing in September or releasing any of the songs that I've had in the vault is just because I kind of got in my head and I just had this mental block. And I wanted to just touch on 2 things that I've picked up from this book that have kind of helped me work through those mental blocks and start creating again and not worrying so much about it. So the first thing I want to talk about is this concept of resistance that this book really dives into. And it kind of categorizes or defines resistance as this force that shows up every day that you have to tackle every single day that can come in many different forms. It's either the lies we tell ourselves that as to why we can't start doing what we want to do, or it could be outside forces like friends and family pulling us away from the work. And then it goes down the list, and there's tons of content in here about the different ways that resistance can manifest itself. The point is, it's all excuses. No matter what, if something scares us, that's usually an indicator, obviously within reason, that that's something that we care about and that we should be doing and we should be pursuing regardless of what the outcome is. You just have to show up every day and you have to face that resistance head on, and somebody has done what you want to do under the same or worse circumstances. So at the end of the day, no matter what, that resistance is always going to be there. You could sell 1 million records, you could write a best-selling book, you could produce a blockbuster movie, but there's still going to be resistance the next time that you sit down to do the thing. Just because you get these accolades, it doesn't mean that that kind of doubt or fear goes away. So yeah, it's I don't really have any excuses or anything to complain about. Who cares if I was a little bit tired? If I said I was gonna do something, I should have showed up and I should have did it. Or at least that's how I take it. So the short of it is that with resistance, the only way out is through. So the second thing I want to talk about that I like in this book is they draw a line in the sand between these 2 different mindsets. One being the mindset of an amateur, the other one being a mindset of a professional. And when they talk about professionalism, they're not just talking about doing something for money, they're talking about the way that you approach whatever it is that you're doing. The amateur is somebody that puts an overvalue or an overimportance on whatever the product is that they're making. And so putting so much pressure on the end result can ultimately stump you and make you not move or not work towards getting it done, getting it out, and then moving on to the next thing. As well, the amateur gets caught up in fantasies, and so since they're caught in these fantasies, reality is just not going to live up to it. So they kind of drift off and just live in their head, and they never get the actual work done. And they don't engage in the work on any kind of a schedule. So they end up overvaluing how much effort they're putting into something when they could be doing a lot more. Now, the other side of that coin is the professional. The professional is somebody that knows that they have to do the work and they decide that they're going to do it every day. They're gonna overcome resistance and just get the work done. They don't overemphasize the importance of the final product, and they just show up. I like the analogy that they use in this book that like professional athletes are injured a great deal of the time, or they're not feeling 100% a great deal of the time. And regardless of that fact, they are professionals about it. They still need to show up for practice and they still need to show up for the game. Regardless of if they show up or not, resistance is gonna show up either way. So you can either push against that resistance or let that resistance push you way back. So I was just giving into resistance a little too much and being an amateur. Being too critical of the beats I was making, worrying too much about like what the outcome was gonna be, and all of that kind of just built up to the point where I hit that mental block and I just was kind of half-heartedly doing things. And I just don't want to get there again, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that I'm showing up every day and I'm doing a little bit of the work. This one is gonna be what it's gonna be. If it's not the best tape that I've released, whatever, like the next one will be. So I just gotta keep pushing through those boundaries. And I'd say a lot of the times these types of books give you common sense and things that you probably already know, but at least for me, this one hit at the right time, and it reminded me of those things that I knew. And I think that that's where the value in these books come from. It's really good to have those external reminders when you get too lost in thought or you're just too in your head. It helps you get out of your own way, because if you focus in too much, it's hard to see the forest for the trees. And something like this can kind of zoom you out and change your perspective. Even these YouTube videos can do the same thing, but it's also easy to get wrapped up into the rabbit hole of YouTube videos. What's nice about books is they kind of take you away from the screen, and there's really not much other distractions. You have to give your time and your energy and focus to one specific thing. So it kind of quiets out the noise and gives you time to think. With all that being said, go write that song, go finish that book, go start the screenplay that you told everybody you were gonna write 10 years ago and never started. I'll see y'all next time. Stop letting resistance win. Peace. Oh yeah, and I have some shirts available. If you want to support the channel or support my music, I'll have a link in the bio where you can go pick them up. I'm a little bit biased, but I think they're pretty comfy and they look nice. So here you go. We got the adult contemporary rap on the front. Got the mass hollow on the back. Get yourself something nice.